entertainment. So this one is even more disturbing, and I apologize. We don't like to. We deal with enough death and enough violence against human beings, particularly black and brown bodies, on Civic Cipher, and we try to cover other stories. But today's show just has a lot of this in it, so we apologize. But soccer fan hangs self after backlash to his own racism. Flip this. All right. This is from the Atlanta Black Star. A man was found dead in his North Wales home the day after he was caught on a video allegedly making racist monkey gestures toward a black soccer player during a derby match in late November, according to authorities. Police said 52-year-old Andrew Paul Hewitt, a trucker, father, and avid supporter of Chester FC, FC, I'm sure is football club, was
Yep.
found. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was found hanged inside his home on Palace Street in Flint, North Wales, on December 1st. Just hours earlier, on November 30th, Hewitt was caught on camera taunting Warrington Town FC player Bohan Dixon with monkey gestures after his teammate scored on a penalty play. Uh, I'm sure you know what that means, Q. That's when Dixon began celebrating in front of 900 Chester fans, where Hewitt was apparently seated, reports said.
Yeah, an
Objects.
unfortunate truth, Ramses, about European soccer
Uh-huh.
is that a lot of white racist European fans taunt black players with monkey jokes and banana peels,
Yeah. Yeah.
or monkey sounds and banana peels.
Yeah. I've seen that before. In any event, I'll continue. But thank you for that, because I wouldn't have said that out loud. And I think our listeners need to know that if they're like me and don't really pay too much attention to sports. I pay attention to racism. That's why I know that, but not soccer. Anyway, back to the article here. Objects were also thrown onto the field. I'm assuming banana peels too. As chaos erupted several times during the match at Cal Delivery Stadium, where the game ended in a 1-1 tie. Soon, a video of Hewitt's gestures went viral on social media, sparking outrage among fans who singled out Hewitt in the crowd of 2,296 spectators. Chester Football Club immediately addressed the controversy in a statement, expressing anger and dismay over the alleged incident. The club also confirmed it would provide its video and photographic evidence to Cheshire police. The club added, quote, "Racism has no place in sport or society, and anyone found to have displayed such behavior will receive an indefinite ban from attending matches," unquote. Chester also condemned the actions of a minority who are unable to behave responsibly, and revealed that the team would now face an investigation by the Football Association. It's unclear whether these messages prompted Hewitt's actions. Police confirmed that Hewitt was scheduled to be questioned at a later time about the incident before he was found dead. Later, the club issued another statement expressing sorrow, stating, quote, "It is with sadness Chester FC has been made aware of the tragic death of the individual involved. The immediate thoughts of everyone at the club are with his family and friends," unquote. County officials in Ruthin confirmed that emergency services were called to Hewitt's home hours after the match when concerns were raised about his safety. Hewitt was pronounced dead at 1:35 a.m., with Assistant Coroner Kate Robertson describing the circumstances as an apparent act of self-harm. A little bit more to read here. Following a post-mortem examination, the pathologist's initial findings indicated that hanging was the cause of death. A full inquest will be held at a later date, but officials said they did not suspect foul play. The neighbors told the Daily Mail that the bigoted episode involving Hewitt was out of character and not the man they knew. Quote, "We all found out it was Andy who'd been accused of being racist. It doesn't sound like him," said one community member, who suggested Hewitt took his own life due to the harsh backlash he faced over the incident. Quote, "He's a lovely lad and they are a great family. We're all stunned that he took his life over this. I feel so sorry for the family," unquote. Other people placed blame on the soccer team for creating publicity around the incident. It was the club that made it public. It is now pretending to be sad after the man hanged himself. One person wrote, that was a quote. Another quote here says, "Whites get socially lynched every day in the West for heresy to anti-whiteism. It rarely gets talked about because the anti-white narrative is the only narrative in the media," unquote, another person commented. So, yeah. Do you want to state the obvious here, Q, or you want me to do it?
We had a story recently where an adult white woman called a black child, a black baby, the N word over and over again for being a baby, for being a child, for playing, for stumbling over to her belongings.
Yeah. He was autistic too. I want to make sure that that's stated.
And after abusing this autistic child, she became the victim and raised hundreds of thousands of dollars from people who subscribe to the same nonsense stated at the end of this story.
Yeah.
Yes, the football club can simultaneously hold to account a racist fan and be sad when that racist fan hangs himself. Yes, both of those things can absolutely be true. They made it public that he was being a racist. He then hanged himself, and they pointed out that that was something tragic. Stop being racist does not mean we hope you die. And imagine living in a world where someone asking you not to be racist and shaming you for being that way means, oh my God, I can no longer live, instead of, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be racist. It has been stated that in this country and now seemingly all over the world, that people are so racist, countries and institutions, that when you protest racism, they think you are protesting them personally. And I think that is very obviously telling of the state of affairs in this country and clearly abroad as well.
Well, kind of nailed it. I mean, what else am I supposed to say? That was it. Thank you, Q. I think if I'll add anything, I will add that I think it's really interesting that the people in his life are. It's kind of like the mass shooter thing that happens where there's these mass shooters and then all their friends say, oh, it wasn't like him, it's not a part of him that I knew. um the like the disbelief, that sort of thing. Like, I understand that, but one of the things that happens with on the back end of a mass shooting, where a person knew the shooter and is getting interviewed about what was it like to live next door to this guy, did you know anything, did you suspect anything, that they tend to recognize that, yes, it is surprising that that person did that thing. I didn't expect him to do that, right? But in this instance, and to be fair, this is not as severe as a mass shooting. This is a guy publicly, you mentioned they publicly shamed him. He publicly put on display his racism. So, don't know what that's about. But how his community has come together and was like, oh, doesn't sound like him. He's a lovely lad and they're a great family. And, we're stunned over this, like, as opposed to saying like, wow, this is really sad. This is, you know what I mean? Like, almost like we're sad that he got caught. We're sad that you are aware of this part of his life that he would rather not be aware of. Right. And that's what it feels like, as opposed to, well, it's sad that he felt that way. And of course, nobody likes to have to take their lumps publicly. But, we're hoping that he learns his lesson and ultimately is rehabilitated and can be a functioning member of society that doesn't harbor these sentiments. You know what I mean? And that's not really what you're seeing here. And that part feels like, where's the accountability from anyone? And that's one of the things that we've asked for a lot on this show. We've covered probably hundreds of segments, and a constant theme, a thread or a tie that binds, is accountability. And the day we get people to take accountability for their history, for their own actions, for their privilege, for the state of the world, for their vote, for all that sort of stuff. The day that happens, when we all have that sober moment with each other, not just one side, but all of us, and we really understand what we're doing and what we have done to get here, I think that we're going to be a little bit further along on this human journey.